The League and their allies are growing more desperate as secrets of the universe are revealed all around them. What will happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Justice League issue number 19 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the book, Superman gets us up to speed on the last couple weeks worth of happenings. The League has not been doing so hot right now. The Legion of Doom has them on the ropes, the Source Wall has been destroyed, and now in our hero's moment of true desperation, they're going to have to turn to a being beyond most of their understandings. And that's just an appetizer. The main course is actually trying to get this mystery being to show up, as it seems they would keep a rather interesting schedule. Luckily, using the League's technology and mental acumen, they're able to artificially shift time. Why are they doing all this? Who could possibly be so important to try and wrangle? Well, this being turns out to be none other than Mr. Mxyzptlk, the Gilbert Godfrey-sounding fifth-dimensional imp, master of mischief, and maybe one of the most powerful beings Superman has ever locked horns with. The League has come prepared to wrangle this little rascal, including a cage meant to capture Eclipso forged in the fire pits of Apocalypse, and indeed, it is able to keep Mixi in one place. Too bad for our heroes. If Mixi can't create chaos and destruction all throughout the city of Metropolis, then he'll simply use his amazing powers to have the city wreak havoc on the heroes. Now, Mixi showing up again is actually a pretty big deal. If you'll recall, the last time we saw him was in the pages of Superman, wherein he was seemingly kidnapped by Mr. Oz under the direction of Dr. Manhattan. You might also remember at the end of that story, Mixi swore bloody revenge against Superman for not saving him. Sadly, none of that goes mentioned here. Once again, it seems that this Justice League run is actively trying to downplay all the Doomsday Clock Dr. Manhattan stuff, which is a real shame because I wanted to see that story continue. Eventually, Martian Manhunter is able to get Mixi under control by broadcasting the words Keltipsy-Zim, his name backwards, into his mind over and over again. This pacifies Mixi, for fear that if he doesn't concentrate and behave, he might just end up spitting out the name that banishes him back to his own dimension. What all of this essentially means is that Mr. Mxyzptlk has ended up very begrudgingly joining the Justice League. Now, he's not doing it out of the goodness of his own heart or anything, he's really only in it for the mischief, but wouldn't you know it, the destruction of the Source Wall has actually affected the fifth dimension too. You see, the fifth dimension is supposed to be the realm of imagination. It exists outside time and space, but now that time and space is threatened by the destruction of the Source Wall, imaginations are running wild. Imps like Mixi and Batmite are getting overtaxed, they're drying out, and well, they could all die very soon if they don't fix this. Mixi also tells the rest of the Justice League that what they're looking for is actually being housed in the sixth dimension. Yes, that's right, there's a whole sixth dimension out there in the multiverse, and we know this because Mixi pulls out Grant Morrison's map of the multiverse from Multiversity. Essentially, the sixth dimension as it's described here is a kind of cosmic control room accessible by only a few incredibly powerful beings: Perpetua, the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor, and even the World Forger, just to tie this story back to the events of Dark Knight's Metal. Now, if Mixi really concentrates, he could be powerful enough to open up a doorway to the sixth dimension. The only problem is none of the other heroes could go through lest they go insane for what they see. That is, of course, except for, well, Superman, and follow me on this one. It seems that every time Superman battled Mixi, he was actually absorbing small amounts of fifth-dimensional radiation. Essentially, because Mixi is an omnipotent being, he's more or less been priming Superman for this very moment in history because, well, he exists outside of time and space. It's gonna be dangerous, there's no telling what's on the other side or even how long Superman is gonna be gone, but the good guys really need to hunt down the Legion of Doom and put a stop to this before they can unleash Perpetua on the universe. So it's basically now or never. Superman's only gone for a few seconds though when Superman seemingly returns, only as Superman the White, much older and golder. Future Soups claims that he had managed to follow the threads of the universe and found one wherein the good guys not only win but save the entire universe, and he invites the main leaguers to come see. And indeed, it's a beautiful, glowing future. John Stewart is the White Lantern, Martian Manhunter and Hawkwoman actually seem to be a couple now, complete with a kid. And wow, Wally, Jay, and Barry are all living happily together as the Flashes, despite what other events would have you believe. In a way, this world is kind of too good to be true, and maybe it is, because as the comic winds down, we see what became of Superman. He slips through a black, sunless void before landing on a pile of skeletons. Is this Mixi once again being mischievous? Is this his great revenge on Superman after all? I don't know. We'll have to read the next issue to find out. And so that was Justice League issue number 19, everybody, and I gotta say, this newest arc is off to a great start. It's shocking, too, that all of these arcs have tied together to tell one big, overreaching story about the League versus the Legion of Doom, but that Snyder and company have been able to tell such ambitious stories within stories. Every issue just feels so layered and rewarding, and now that we're getting into fifth-dimensional Golden Age weirdness, what's not to love here? I'd be stupid, too, to not mention how Jimenez is absolutely killing it on art duty here. Did you see those redesigned future potential Justice Leaguers? Everyone looks great. Overall, I'd give this another 9 out of 10. This is just consistently one of the best books on DC Comics shelves every month.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again. I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have on offer. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, did you know I have a Twitch and gaming page now? That's right, I do. If you head on down in the description, you'll find a link to the Joel Daily channel where I re-upload my streams, as well as the Cape Joel official Twitch channel where occasionally I do live stuff. If you're around, I would love it if you watched. I'm sure you'll have a good time. So until then, everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I will be back again with more great comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye-bye.